All right. A few months ago, I had a lesson with Dana Dahlquist. Great golf instructor, and I wanted to share what I am working on in my swing. So first off, it starts with setup. So when I came with him, I was setting up. I watched a lot of GG swing tips videos, and I was setting up with my pelvis very posteriorly flexed and kind of hunched over. He's had me point my belt buckle a little bit more towards the ground, make sure the weight is on the balls of my feet, and that my arms are hanging and sitting on top of my chest. He's also had me feel like my left humerus, rather than being facing this way, is actually internally rotated and sitting on my chest like this. And it's all no tension. As little amount of tension as possible, just sitting lightly on top. And that's pretty much it from a setup standpoint. The first move back is really probably most important part of the swing. Once you get set up, the first move back involves pushing from the left side into the right heel. And at speed, I'm essentially trying to push as much weight as I can into my right heel as possible, as early in the swing as possible. Sometimes what happens with a lot of people is they go this way. What I feel is that I'm staying very flexed. So my spine is staying very much like this. And again, as I add speed, it'll be a little bit more like this, but what you don't want is something more like that. So what I feel is in this first move, just right to here, pushing off this left side, weight's going to the right heel, arms are staying out in front and relaxed. From this point, what the feeling that he gave me was, so I'm rotated here, my arms are nice and light, and what I'm going to do from here is just elevate my arms essentially straight up while I still continue to rotate. Again, my arms are super relaxed. My right shoulder is away from my right ear. And what's actually happening with the hips is that they're slightly recentering. So I've gotten to this point here, and as I continue to rotate back, you'll notice that my weight starts to shift more towards 50-50. The key here really is that it's hard to rotate too much. So this is something that I continually work on, and in the sequence of the swing, it's extremely important to rotate. And if I were to go out and play, if I played 9 holes, I could spend 9 holes just thinking about the backswing and rotating back, and that would take care of 80% of what I'm working on. If I don't rotate, what happens is it's hard for me to do. If I don't rotate my hips, I kind of get locked up. My arms get pulled across my chest, my left wrist cups, and the face gets open, which means I have to make manipulations on the downswing to square the face. So, essentially what I'm working on is really trying to keep the arms more in front of the chest. And the way I'm making that happen is this right hip is rotating very deep and back this way. You'll notice as I rotate like this, my right leg is going to straighten, my left is going to stay bent, which is going to allow my hips to be tilted towards the target at the top of the backswing. Another feeling that he kind of gave me was, this is more of like a high level picture, is that as you rotate back, the arms are loosely floating up and staying in front. This right arm, rather than going here, stays nice and in front. In the downswing, the things that I'm working on really can only work if I get into this position. So I'm very deeply rotated, and what my tendency was to do was to rip my hips wide open. And everything else would get stuck behind, and I wouldn't be able to rotate through the shot. In other words, my legs were really overactive. What he had me feel was that I'm rotating back, but really what's starting the downswing is actually the rib cage rotating. And again, he basically said, I cannot do this too fast. So it's a really cool feeling to be able to just rip my rib cage essentially as hard as I want. And I really gained a lot of distance through doing that. So rib cage starts, and what I actually am trying to feel from face on is that I'm forward flexed again, so I'm more like this, and also rotated. So I'm kind of in a position here. This doesn't actually happen this way, but this is the feeling. And then if I'm right here, again, I'm really soft. The feeling is that through impact, the hands are going straight to the target, straight upward. And what this has been allowing me to do is hit a lot more push draws. Whereas before, 60% of my shots would be on target, 20% would be hooks left, and 20% would actually be block fades out to the right. Now, if I start a ball right, it's either gonna go straight or draw back to the left. So it's really helped me plot my way around the golf course. So to see that downswing from another view, again, I'm rotating, I'm staying flexed for this first part. I keep rotating that hip deep, right arm, right elbow stays in front, arms are relaxed. I start the rib cage down. Again, I'm staying really relaxed with the hands and arms. Now here is where a couple things are happening. One, I'm setting the hands, the handle, and the shaft in line with the target. The other thing is, the more speed I want to add, I am pushing into the ground and rotating at the same time. So it's kind of this move. If I were standing on something slippery, it would rotate counterclockwise, and then I would push back off of it. So to watch that from this view, I'm rotating as deep as I can. Rotate the rib cage here, and I'm pushing off this foot and sending the handle to the target. The final piece to all of this is, no matter what I'm working on, if I can end up where at the end of my swing, I can tap my right foot on the ground like I'm completely balanced on my left side. For playing, this is something that's just brought all misses together and has made it so my bad shots are a lot less bad. So that's what I'm working on in my swing. Hopefully there's something in there that would be useful to you.